If you're someone who has been building a creative business, but just feel like you're not making any progress or improvements, in today's video, we're going to talk about focusing on the 1% improvements that will affect 99% of your business. Wow, I just nailed that on the first try. How good of a feeling is that? Woo! Some of the topics that we're going to cover in today's video are how long it takes to build a profitable business, why focusing on 1% improvements matter, searching for the worms and continuing to build a connection to keep your business alive, focus on giving to people, and being interested, not interesting. So when I first started my creative business, the first year, I thought I had to learn everything that everyone knew. I thought I had to learn all these years of experience within 1 year, and that's where I screwed up. I started doing a bunch of research on social media, articles, websites, started talking to other people, and hey, there's nothing wrong with this, but I was missing the point of learning from trial and error. I wanted to gain all this information because I wanted to be the best at what I was doing, but I also didn't want to make any mistakes. I started looking at so much misinformation on Instagram, and I started comparing myself to where other people were at when they already had, 5, 10, 20 years of experience when I only had one, all right? I thought I had to be there in the first year. What I didn't realize is that it takes around 7 to 10 years to start a profitable business, all right? And I'm only on my third, so I'm still learning. So because I thought I had to learn everything in my first year, that's where I screwed up when comparing myself to other people, and I started feeling down on myself, and I wasn't giving myself enough grace. You always need to continue to be a student, especially with the videography, photography, creative industry. Everyone has to be a student every single day, because if you stop being a student, you lose that creative freedom. What I wish I knew at the time was that mistakes are good. Everyone learns from mistakes, and your business couldn't grow without these mistakes. So if you're struggling, if you're in a hard time, just know that mistakes are good, okay? This is how you learn, this is how you grow. But what you want to do is you want to grow from these mistakes. So when you make a mistake, don't blame it on other people, don't blame it on vendors, situations. The only thing you can blame it on is yourself. And if you take accountability for your mistakes, you can learn how to grow from that. You can learn, all right, where did I screw up and how can I improve next time? So to get to the main point of this video is, why do you want to focus on these 1% improvements? What I think a lot of people can benefit from is, instead of focusing on the whole picture, break everything down, all right? Break everything down into the small details of your business and what small areas you can improve within your business. I actually read this book, Atomic Habits, and it explains a lot about focusing on 1% improvements and building up small habits to affect, 99% of yourself or your business. James Clear talks about the cycling team who is basically at rock bottom, and then they made themselves champions because they focused on these 1% improvements of their training to win these races. They focused on the smallest details. That's what's called the 1% improvements. They focused on what type of oil they need to use, what type of diet they need, all right, how much sleep they need to get, what type of pillow they need to use. If you think about it as all these small atoms combining together to create one whole atomic atom, these are the 1% improvements that, if you're focusing on those rather than the whole picture, that's what's going to get you results. And it's just like with running a creative business. What 1% improvements can you focus on, whether it's with your clients, your editing workflow, or your shooting workflow? What 1% improvements can you focus on to create a better experience for your clients? That's definitely something to take note of. I said this in my last video. It's called Searching for the Worms. We actually got a lot of great responses from that video. I really appreciate you guys who commented. It's been great helping people out. I feel like we're definitely building a community here and helping people. That's all I want to do, is just help you guys, whether you're new to videography or if you've been in the industry for quite some time. I just want to be able to connect, learn from you guys, and just make an experience for all of you guys to where we can all build a community and help each other out. So I really appreciate you guys checking out that video. If you want to check it out, click this right here. So to recap, searching for the worms is just an analogy I came up with where you're, trying to find as much connections as you can, all right? Focusing on changing your environment, finding the right time, and adapting to finding these new clients, connections, etc. Connections are everything, okay? You want to be able to continue to build connections within your business to keep that alive. If you don't, it's going to crumble. You want to focus on continuing to build these connections, because once these clients no longer want to work with you, whether that's a bad reason or a good reason, they just don't need anything, you're gonna have these other clients that you're still working with, and you can still keep that income rolling in. It never hurts to do cold calls, go to business meetings in your niche that you're working with, and just connecting with a lot of people and telling them about yourself. One easy way that you can actually make connections is going to a BNI chapter meeting in your local area. This is basically where you could just talk to a bunch of people who run their own business, small business, big businesses, and then pitch your idea for 60 seconds and also talk about how you've helped other people. So that might just be something to consider doing to get your name out there. And that leads me to my next point of be interested, not interesting. Me and my buddy Tate Showman mentioned this while we were getting coffee, and he was like, you want to be interested in people, you don't want to be interesting. All right, you don't want to be talking about yourself too much. So you want to ask these connections questions about them, because obviously they're going to want to talk about themselves. Now, another thing me and Tate talked about was focus on giving to people. And a great example of this is taking your clients out to coffee. All right, if you give to someone, you can expect them to give you something back. You know, whether that's a payment for a product. Now, if we were to take an inquiry or a lead out to coffee and just talk to them about our product and then ask questions about them, they'd probably be around 75% more likely to book with you. You're able to build that one-on-one connection with them and ask them questions about themselves and what they exactly want. This is also great for building lasting relationships. So that's the end of the video, guys. If you guys found this helpful, feel free to give this video a like. Also, if you have any questions, I respond to almost every single comment, and I love talking to you guys. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'd love to help you guys out. Peace.